What is going on, guys? It is Day Trip here, and recently I did promise that we would be getting into the juicy parts of the Matthew Cote Dead by Daylight podcast interview. And a quick refresher, Matthew Cote is lead developer of Dead by Daylight, whom was hosted on Slasher Radio. And they have a podcast there. They had him on and were able to ask some great questions. My previous video, I did go over pretty much the full context of that interview, but I did not get to the real meat of things here, if you will, which is Matthew touching on licenses such as Terrifier and Stranger Things, and their likeliness of if they're going to be in the game or not in the future. So with that, let's just dive in, guys.
I do have a couple of questions. Again, these are things that are hard for you to answer. I don't like asking licensing questions, but it's so strong in the community. I feel like it has to be mentioned. A lot of heads turned quite a few months ago now when people that were involved in the Terrifier 2 film were adding Dead by Daylight on Twitter, and they want Art the Clown in the game. Again, this is all licensing. I know how limited you guys are with talking about it, but how attractive is that?
It's always great to see other creators out there be excited about your brand, your baby. Yeah. So having people who create horror in a professional way, do something, they've created a new IP that's really cool, and they've built some really interesting characters, and they are excited about Dead by Daylight, and that is high praise. That is a great compliment that we are always thrilled to get. Now, is that going to lead to something in Dead by Daylight? I can't say.
Right.
If it was something that was going to happen, I couldn't say anything. If it wasn't, absolutely, I couldn't say anything either. So really, I'm no help here. But it is. But I can tell you, it's not the first time that this happens, that content creators create something really impressive, that big studios or professionals create something amazing, and that they reach out to us or at least do something to try to catch our attention. And every time we take it as the high praise that it is.
Absolutely.
And of course, in lead developer fashion, Matthew cannot confirm nor deny the likeliness of Art the Clown being in the game in the upcoming future. Although it is definitely worth highlighting that the team behind Terrifier 2 was actively adding Dead by Daylight on Twitter and making a lot of nods. And I mean, it's just cool in its own right that now we have creators in their own world they've built reaching out to be a part of this beloved game. Of course, we'd like to see him in there. Again, there's no confirmation or denial. And I think with the Twitter activity of them adding Dead by Daylight, I think there's a good chance in the future. Alright, let's move on to what Matthew says on Stranger Things Return to Dead by Daylight.